when you're talking about those kind of things, you have to really understand that gay kids and queer kids and lesbian kids, and they don't have the same kind of peer groups that straight kids do when they're going to school. So what can often happen is that being gay and young and in middle school, you can really feel alone, and that's probably the biggest problem, is that real feeling of isolation and the idea that there's no one else out there like you. What a GSA can do for kids is bring them together with people not only like them, but also people who support them and who openly support them. And that's really important, because you need to have that kind of peer group as a child, or else you're going to have, you're not going to develop the way you're supposed to. And, and that's how people, start harming themselves and doing terrible things. I have more than one friend who is participated in what's called self-injury, which is cutting yourself or harming yourself another way. But I've also had friends who have attempted suicide. None of my friends have been successful, thank God. But I do have friends who have attempted suicide. It's really disheartening to hear about those kinds of things, mostly because it makes, from an activist standpoint, it often feels like I'm not doing enough. But really, it's disheartening to think that their friends or their family isn't supporting them, and so that leads them to do things like that. But it is disheartening, but it's also helpful because we can start to understand what we can do in order to prevent those things from happening. Mostly it's social support. It's bringing people together so that you can really connect with people. A lot of what we do here at Haven too, and that's with older kids, of course, but it's just bringing people together. I think that's what's most important. There's tons of great resources out there you can give, like counseling, but what's really important, I think, to most people is just to have friends that will accept them and not tease them or bully them because of their sexual orientation. I think that's really what's important. One of the greatest things about GSAs is that they educate straight people so that straight people don't constantly live with their foot in their mouth. We love our straight allies, but sometimes straight people don't always realize what they're saying. And with GSAs, you can really educate and inform people to what could be considered harmful language. And language is very important, especially when you talk about the queer community. And there's a lot of words that are really harmful when you hear them. And it's really important that our straight allies and student straight peer members understand that there's certain things you cannot say and certain things you can say, and how that those things really impact a person's life.